The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Kelly Olson. We are back with Lenny Randle on Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I'm Ralph Tyko with the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. The man is here, the most interesting man in baseball, according to Dan Epstein in Rolling Stone magazine. And I get to talk to him once or twice a week. How are you, Lenny?
We're doing great, Ralph. Everybody say, go Philly, Philly, Philly.
Go Philly, Philly, Philly.
Wow. Go Philly. There's nothing like a bandwagoner. How many of you guys have ever heard of the Philadelphia Eagles before last week?
I did, and I know that they haven't won a Super Bowl since yesterday.
55 years.
Oh, all right. Well, that's pretty good. But, the last one they won, as far as I remember, was 1960, and they didn't even call it the Super Bowl at that time. They won the NFL championship. There was no AFL. Long time ago, kids, before you were all born. Not before Lenny was born. He's a geezer like myself. How you doing today, Lenny?
I'm doing great. We have a couple of Philly. How many Philly fans do we have in here?
None.
We got two. We got one Raider fan, the Diesel.
All right.
We have
an Oakland
a
Raider
Seahawk.
fan or is he a Las Vegas Raider?
And we're doing live interviews with the kids right now so they can learn how to go NFL, MLB, and Ralph Tyko Radio, Companies on Radio interviews. So the question you have, I'm going to have JT speak to you now. He's about 14 years old, maybe 12. How old are you now? 13. He's 13. And he's wearing a Miami Dolphin hat. Go ahead.
JT, where are you from?
Marietta, California.
Well, what I'd like to know is where does the Miami affiliation come in? How do you like them?
They're good. I really like them. I want to be traded.
Okay. Well, I'll trade you. What can I get for you these days?
To get to New York, the New York Giants.
New York Giants, okay. Now, what does it take to be traded?
Can you repeat the question again?
What does it take to be traded? If you want to be traded, how do you go about it?
I don't know. Just ask.
Did you play out your option? Let me ask you this. If it weren't, how you doing in school? If it weren't for sports, for football, what's your favorite subject in school?
Math. I like math.
Okay. How do you learn math? Do you learn by baseball cards?
No. I usually just learn by flashcards and studying.
Okay, good. And who's your favorite teacher in school?
Dalton Hunkel.
Why is he your favorite? How does he communicate with you that makes you like him?
He said he can't hear you well, so go ahead. Say it again, Ralph. What's your question?
Okay, I just want to know why he's your favorite teacher.
Oh, because he mentors me and helps me with my schoolwork.
Okay, that's very good. And how did you get to meet Lenny?
Through the W training facility.
Okay, and what do you like best about his teaching?
Everything. He teaches me a lot. He teaches me the good stance in baseball, to be a good sport.
Okay.
He's a good sport guy.
What's your favorite sport?
Football.
Football. After that, what do you play?
What?
What other sports do you play, JT?
Baseball and basketball.
Okay. And what position do you play in baseball?
Right field, right outfield.
Okay. The skills you learn in football, do they help you in baseball?
Yeah, absolutely. They help
Why do you say that?
because of your peripheral vision, and football will help you with your baseball and just the speed.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What grade are you going into this year?
8th grade.
8th grade. And where do you want to go to college someday, sir?
Tennessee or Mississippi State.
Okay. What made you pick those schools?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
I just always loved that college.
You know what I always love? Honesty. I really appreciate that kind of answer. You simply don't know. You didn't make something up. That's great. I wish you a lot of luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, our next interview is Dr. J. He's going to tell you who he is, a football, basketball guy. I call him Dr. J. His real name is Davion and Calvin. Aaron. Hi.
Hey, nice to meet you, Dr. J.
Nice to meet you, too.
All right. How'd you come about the nickname? Lenny says he calls you that. Why does he?
I don't know. It's just a nickname he gave me. Oh, well, because of basketball.
Okay. And you're a forward, I assume?
Excuse me?
You play forward in basketball, like Dr. J did?
Center and power forward.
Okay. What grade are you going into?
I'm going into the 8th.
Into the 8th. And where do you want to go to school someday? Where do you want to go to college?
Stanford.
Oh, whoa, high aspirations. You know you got to get your grades up to go to Stanford.
Yeah, 4.0.
Oh, okay. So grades are not a problem.
No.
If you weren't playing sports, what would be your passion? What do you like to do besides sports?
I would be a volcanologist, a scientist that studies volcanoes.
Okay. How did you get an interest in that?
Excuse me?
How did you develop an interest in that?
When I was learning, sciences was always one of my favorite subjects. So, and one day we were just learning about volcanoes and certain scientists, and I chose to keep studying that because I liked it.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Who was your first coach?
For football, I had a coach named Coach MJ.
Okay. And was he the person who developed your skills the most?
A little bit. He got me better in football, I would say.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And you're taking it to the next step with Lenny.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. What's your second favorite sport besides football?
Basketball.
And what is it that you learn in basketball that helps you in football?
Ooh. Well, it's more so the footwork for football helps me with basketball. Controlling my body, I guess, and how I move.
Beautiful. Balance and what have you?
Yes, sir.
Good. Good. I wish you a lot of luck. You're very articulate.
Thank you.
Good. Who's next?
We have my friend here. His name's Aaron. Oh, here you go.
Hello, Aaron. How are you?
Good.
Good. Where are you
How
from?
are you? I'm from Beaumont, Texas.
Beaumont, Texas. Now, how'd you get to California?
My dad's in the military.
What branch of the military, Aaron?
Marines.
Wow, pretty good, pretty good. And how long have you been in California?
We've been here 5 years, and my dad retired here. Also, he retired 2 years
What's
ago.
different between Texas and California? What do you find either better or worse? Do you miss anything about Texas?
For one, my family lives in Texas, and the humidity. That's what I miss. I miss the humidity.
You miss the humidity?
I'm so used to the humidity.
How much do you miss the humidity?
I miss it a lot.
All
Used
right.
to sweating a lot.
Okay, for training and what have you.
Yeah.
How did you meet up with Lenny?
Actually, I think my dad met with Coach Randle, Bradley Randle.
Yes.
And then that's when we started, and then he came to one of our practices with him. So then that's how we met Lenny.
Oh, terrific, terrific. And you're enjoying what you do?
Yes, sir.
And what would you do if it weren't for sports? What would be your passion? What are you interested in other than sports?
Being an engineer.
Wow, not on a train. You're a mathematical engineer, in other words.
Yeah, mathematical engineer. That's what I want to be.
And
I'm really good at math.
You're not gonna go to Stanford, are you?
No, I want to go to Michigan State.
Oh, why did you decide on Michigan State?
Because I played on a team similar to Michigan State, so that's when when I was young, I used to like that. I liked that team a lot.
Beautiful, beautiful. I really appreciate talking to you. You're very articulate, and I wish you a lot of luck in life.
Thank you. You too.
Ralph, his dad's a Marine, and he's an exceptional student and athlete. And he's a leader in his family, and he's the older brother, too.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Good life.
Lenny, how are you doing this week?
I'm busy and blessed with no stress. This is my fourth radio show this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm batting cleanup. Is that what you're saying?
You're a power man. You got to drive him in. You get a 3-2 pitch. Look for the fastball.
What do I do with a 3-2 pitch? You can't take a 3-2 pitch because they'll ring it up.
Okay, Ron, you're not walking, brother. You're swinging the bat, okay? You're not walking.
Get off the island. The island is Alameda, but it's an island, nonetheless. All right, when are you coming out to California, Northern California, Lenny?
We're going to be doing a show February 17th live at the Marriott Convention Center. We'll have about 4,000 people there. We'll be doing a college expo, giving away probably 70 to 2,000 scholarships, free.
Will I be on stage with you with my podcast, my little digital mic?
We'll bring our podcast live into the studio in the stadium, in the hotel. So we'll be live in a booth with Ralph Tyko show, February 17th. I'm trying to find a location to do an outdoor clinic with us so we could have it in 2 locations. We'll either do the clinic inside the hotel convention center or we'll find a field. If someone's listening out there in that area and they want to come to their field, let us know. We're looking for a field to do a clinic that day. We'll be there from 9 in the morning till 4 p.m. at the Marriott Convention Center, February 17th, the collegeexpo.org.
Beautiful. Tell me about yesterday's Super Bowl for you. What did you think? Be serious for a second.
I was on the phone all night because the Philly guys were lighting candles. They had animals people bought goats, put them in the backyard. They bought Mother Teresa jewelry. They bought the Pope's. I'm being serious. People had just candles on.
That struck me.
Superstitious.
Brady gets some inordinate criticism from the New York Post. Just the headlines. Brady's failing here, he's failing there. Just up to he was up for Pope up until the last minute of the game. The press is awfully tough on you as an athlete. Am I correct?
Yeah, but it's like you gotta take it. I like good and bad. I don't want to be telling, picture a person telling them that they're great all the time. You're great. You're great. You're great. You're good. After a while, you can walk on water. You can walk on, you can fly. Even Michael Jordan was humble.
You just start throwing it out there, and you don't, you're not giving it your effort because you're convinced you're great. That kind of thing. Well, get your big pitches.
You remember John Madden? Remember Joe Madden? Joe Madden with the Cubs? He came out with a T-shirt going, look, we haven't won in 108 years. I wasn't here 108 years ago, so what do I care about that tradition? We got a whole new group of men. Let's just wear a T-shirt that says we don't suck or we try not to suck. And then then you get rid of all the negativity because nobody's expected them to win anything. So all of a sudden when you do win, because you don't expect it, nobody expected Philly to win or Toronto Blue Jays to win or the Raptors in Toronto to win. The underdog is always going to be a winner in a lot of people because a lot of American people.
About an expansion team in first place in the NHL right now, first year expansion team, the pressure's off them. That has to be a factor in their playing well. Is that you're right? Nobody's expecting them to win. When you win, the pressure is magnified. Am I correct?
Look at the Yankees. The Yankees are expected to win every year. Every freaking year. Since DiMaggio, since Torre, since Girardi, since Jeter, since A-Rod, every year they're expected to win. They're always going to be first, second, or third, regardless. It's just how it is. And people in New York are kind of like, well, we're a dynasty. We're used to win. When we don't win, who can we buy to win?
Right.
So it's not about development anymore. Right. So if the players are producing, then you go buy somebody that will produce so that you can win. And that's what the Yankees do. They used to develop all their talent with in-house. Now they just go get a free agent or two and change their winning procedure or buy a manager or, even the Dodgers, they do the same thing. They go buy a player or they buy half of the Mets and Yankees managers and coaches to go train the Dodgers.
Hey, Lenny, let me ask you how you went full-time from playing football and baseball at Arizona, and all of a sudden you devoted it to baseball. Did you think you might be drafted in the NFL?
I was told by the Cincinnati Bengals I was going to be a top 5 or top 15 choice because I led the nation in punt and kickoff return. And with that information,
so Billy White, you were the Billy White Shoes Johnson of your time.
It was me and Mel Gray. We were top punt return kickoff guys, and that was a big thing in the NFL to be able to return punts and kickoffs. It was like automatic field positions. I was averaging 25 yards a touch, catching the ball, kickoff and punt return. And it was like, kick it away from it. So when Frank Kush said, look, you could do anything you want. You could play football, you could play basketball, you could run track, you could do hockey. You have an open checkbook with me because you're a hard worker. You're playing 3 sports. What's not to like about a guy that's playing 3 sports and taking 1 scholarship for the place of 3 guys or 2 guys? Who wouldn't want that ticket?
You were running track as your 3rd sport, or you were playing basketball?
I was gonna do basketball, but I couldn't squeeze it in. It was too much. It was too much, so I had to stop. Yeah, I would have been like my nephew Ty said. Yeah, track. I couldn't do track because that track interfered with baseball. Because I had an idol. My idol and role model was Jackie Robinson. Some kind of way, I watched UCLA play when he was, a track guy, a baseball guy, and a football guy. And then I watched Don Buford. He was a DB, a running back, and a center fielder with Randle at USC. He was a two-sport guy. And they said, you can't do track because you either do baseball or track. Jackie Robinson goes, no, I'm doing track. Me and Duke Snyder, I'm going to go run a 800 meters, then I'm going to take off my baseball suit, then I'm going to put on my track suit, then I'm going to run back to the baseball field and run. Just tell me what time the starting gate starts. Come on.
Right.
So that's a lot of, guys don't do that anymore. You did it for your school. You did it to win. You did it for points. Now it's like, I can't do this because my agent says it might hurt me, or I might lose some money, or I can't play in a bowl game. Everybody's got issues about money and getting hurt. And before Lloyd's of London, we didn't care about insurance. We cared about winning for our school and our community.
Hey, Lenny, did you ever get to meet Mac Robinson, Jackie's brother?
I met all the Robinson family because I'm fortunate enough to have my nephew right now, Tyus Edney, who's assistant head basketball coach at UCLA, and my sisters went to UCLA. I had a UCLA recruiting guy named Tom Protho, who was a head coach that tried to get me and Mickey Currid and Wayne Simpson and Rob Thomas and half of our team to go to UCLA. So we on a recruiting trip for Curitin was one of the greatest running backs in the history of high school and college football. And Protho, who was a head coach with, I don't know if you remember that era with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, but it was a phenomenal program. So we were recruited by O.J., Mike Garrett, Toady Smith, Todd Smith, Mike Garrett. There was a lot of recruiting going on for our school because we had top-notch talent in high school. Our high school team outdrew the Rams.
Well,
we had 55,000 people at our football games.
A book should be written about Compton, Lenny.
Well, that's what Peter and I are working on. Whenever we finish the Yankee part, we're going to get to the Compton part. The Hubie Brooks, the Roy Whites, the Burlesons, the Ricky Peters, the Gary Wards, the Alfalos, the O'Bannons. There's 150 to 200 guys from that area that went on, including Strawberry and Eric Davis, who sprinkle in and out. Even Ice Cube and Dr. J. I mean, there's so much history there. It's phenomenal. Listen to Paul Rodriguez, Edward James Olmos. I could go on. Duke Snyder, George Bush. There's a lot of history there.
Snyder did come out of L.A. He, no question about that. But George Bush.
George Bush went to Compton College. A lot of people don't know that. Tarkanian, Compton College. Listen, we had some of the greatest.
Which George, senior?
The senior, the daddy, not the junior, the daddy.
Compton before Yale?
Hello, and the son.
And the son.
The Bush family. They were Compton. See, people don't know that. Compton was cow country. Paramount was cow country.
I'm trying to imagine the son going to any college, but that's another story. But the father, I know, went to Yale.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And the father played first base at Yale and was there when Babe Ruth came. A very famous picture of Babe Ruth and George Bush Sr. at Yale. He was the first baseman there. Anyway, what are you doing the rest of the day? How's the rest of the day going to go for Lenny Randle?
I have 25 players I'm training right now. One of them I'll send to you. One of the kids is the next kind of a McNabb / Michael Vick / Kobe Bryant. And he's a senior in high school. So we're going to personally train him to go to our college expo at our combine. Our last combine, we had 150 kids show up. And those 150 kids all got free scholarships to HBCU schools and wherever else, in Northridge, UCLA, wherever they wanted to go. We had coaches, 25 coaches fly in. We trained them, and we gave away $8 million in 4 hours in training and scholarships.
Wow.
To do it again.
That's terrific. And I thought of a question to ask you, or to ask Bradley through you. What was it like? Because he's just this week elected into the Hall of Fame. What was it like to be a teammate of Moss?
Oh, my God. You got to understand something. Bradley, last night, Asiata called him from Minnesota Vikings. There's a guy named Dan House who runs a magazine called the Viking Corner blog. The kid was 16 years old. I mentioned him to try to go to Arizona State and University of Minnesota to get a full-ride Walter Cronkite scholarship. With that Walter Cronkite scholarship, and he didn't go to Arizona State, he was a second baseman / broadcaster, 16-year-old, in-your-face Adrian Peterson, in-your-face Zimmerman interviewer. Redhead kid. He met every player on the field, and he was Bradley's best friend. And I'm mentoring him. I'm going, kids, this is how you got to interview a pro. This is the approach. Be relaxed, tell a joke or two. Now he has a top 10 broadcasting position at the University of Minnesota, and he also covers the Vikings. He knows everything going on. His name is Dan House. You can friend him, and he constantly asks me, oh, yeah, Dan House. Yeah. He sends me everything going on right now in Minnesota the whole week. I have every movement he made in Minnesota because Minnesota is depressed that they did not go to the Super Bowl. Now, here's the irony of it. The guy lives in Green Bay, Wisconsin, near Brett Favre, where he used to live, but he was not a Minnesota. He was called a Minnesota cheesehead because he lived in Wisconsin, but he liked the Vikings. So all his neighbors in Wisconsin harassed him. They threw turkey sandwiches on his house. They threw cheese on his door. And he's going, look, I can't help it if I like another team in another state. They're giving me a scholarship. So,
one other question. What was it like for you guys in Vegas? Because Vegas is known as like the Western Oklahoma, this, that, and the other thing. What was it like?
Well, Vegas was fun. We own like 4 properties in there, Boca Raton, and a couple areas in Vegas. We own properties prior to Bradley going there. We always went to Vegas. My mom did fashion shows in Vegas. My dad would take a group of longshoremen to Vegas. So we always did Vegas stuff prior to Bradley even going to UNLV. I thought he was going to go to Arizona State. He tricked me. Frank Cush is still mad at me. God bless his soul. He went to UNLV because of Randle Cunningham. Ronald Cunningham took him to the side and go, look, I'm going to mentor you. I'm a reverend. I'm a Hall of Famer for the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm going to have you come to my church every day so you won't get sinful because you're writing, in a dorm where they have booties on billboards on your dorm, outside your dorm and you're going to get tempted to go out and party with all these NFL, NBA, and pros because that's what they're around at an early age. They're running rebels. So thank God for Randle Cunningham mentoring my son through 4 years of college. He got out early, Ralph, and that's why he declared early to sign to go to NFL, the Minnesota Vikings. He graduated quicker than everybody.
Cunningham mentioned by Rush Limbaugh a few years ago. Was that who the quarterback was that Rush Limbaugh referred to?
That's only running Cunningham I know. The other Cunningham I know is Sam Cunningham at SC, but Randle Cunningham, the football player who was like, he was before Vic. He was phenomenal football quarterback, phenomenal athlete.
I know who he is.
But I don't know Rush Limbaugh don't. Rush Limbaugh, I don't like to put his name on my lips because I get a herpy every time I say his name. I don't want to say that name.
I know, but I want to give him the negativity he deserves. The way you describe Randle Cunningham is far from the way Rush Limbaugh disgraced himself by just talking out of his ass. And I just wanted to put it out there that things aren't forgotten by people in this world. But you're right. You get a herpes just thinking about it.
I don't want to give him any more ratings. I don't want any more people to go listen to his show. I'm not even going to say his name. When you want to put somebody you know, don't say their name. They get no publicity, and they're destroyed.
That's a very good way. You told me that about how I won't say it on the air. We talked off the air.
You can say DT. DT, everybody can figure out who is that. That Dalton Thomas DT, whoever DT is in your life.
Right. All right, Lenny. Thank you for a good show. I appreciate it, my friend. I'm number 4 today for you. Was Eric Lindbergh one of those guys?
No, Brandon Paul was one of those guys. DJ Mellon was one of those guys who's going to re-release the record with Rolling Stone, the ball player Kingdom record for kids to go to Italy. They're playing it on their radio list now on a regular basis. So I mentioned Comfortably Zone Radio.
He's a friend of ours, and he's coming over to Comfortably Zone Radio Network. But
who is?
Also Eric Lindbergh.
Oh, Eric, yeah. He's a personal friend. Eric's an Arizona State alum. We do a show together, Major League Baseball Network. I called him earlier. Maybe you don't know this. Go ahead. He's doing a podcast with us.
Podcast for us, too. But my point is he's been struggling a little physically. So if you want to put out some good vibes for Eric on the air, that would be great. He's one of the nicest people I know in life. So
let me share this with people. Eric is taking care of a 98-year-old mother. He just had cancer, had his lungs removed. It's hard for him to talk. His lungs and a heart attack as well. And he's still trying to get ready for an April trip to Italy. And I'm going, Ralph, don't smoke. Don't be around smoke. All you need to be around is people that are praying for you, and you'll beat this. You'll beat this because his spirit is strong.
Absolutely. He's got to beat this. That he's like one of the indispensable humans. You got to look at it that way. That we can't do without. So hang in there, Eric, and keep it going. We'll talk to you soon. Lenny, we will talk to you soon, and I want you to be well.
Ralph, we just posted something in the sake of Eric because he can't talk that much. We just put Rob Brentley of Atlanta Braves catcher on his site today doing an interview. And those that want to watch Eric, who's just a free agent, great guy, on the Eric Lindbergh MLB Network show, you can watch Rob Brentley's interview. And the Rimini kid, Nicolo Gabriella. These are prospects that people are going to know in the future.
Nice. Thank you, Lenny. I'm honored to have you on the network.
God bless you, Ralph. Shalom, todah rabah.
And Bella Bella. How about that?
Bella Bella. Bella Bella and Dilly Dilly.
And a little deli, too, would be nice. All the delis in New York are closing. A lot of things irk me.
Listen, we'll go to in Alameda. We're going to go. I have a deli out in Alameda that we're going to go to on February 17th when we come out there to do your show.
Well, we'll have some pizza, too.
And I'll invite Vita Blue.
That'll be great. Vita Blue and I shared the same dentist years ago, and the late Craig Pearson, Dr. P, spring training doctor of the A's, mutual friend of Vita and I, and here's to the memory of Dr. P. Love you, Lenny. See you soon.
Love you. Ciao, Nancy Finley. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Nancy's thrilled, by the way, that you were on the A's show with her the other day. She's a doll and has some great knowledge, firsthand knowledge of when her uncle and her dad ran that Oakland A team. And she's really close with Vita, so we'll all three get it together.
Get together. Fantastic. Thank you.
Be good, Lenny.
Ciao, ciao. Arrivederci.